The O face. Oh.
It's like,
Welcome to Atlas Balked, a weekly chronicle concerning the mundane, weird, and maybe even sometimes dramatic happenings of a simple fantasy baseball league. This podcast captures the thoughts and musings of Greg, Joe, Jack, and Tim, 4 of the 10 owners in the league. Download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your evil eye-repelling podcast content. You can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is episode 75, entitled Maledictions and Anathema.
Gonna hang your head down and cry. You got bad luck. Bad luck. You got bad luck. Bad luck.
Well, good morning, Bacher Nation. We have most of the crew here. We're missing GK right now. We have no idea where he's at.
I mean, let's be honest here. There's lots of people that have met him in his life that are, have been in the same position we're in right now.
Right, exactly. Yes, I haven't been listening to Delilah lately, so I don't know if he was somehow trying to reach out through that. It's great to see you, Swag. So how are you doing today?
What's happening, fellas? You guys know that John Wick killed 299 people over his 3 movies so far? That's a lot, right?
I did not know that.
299 over 3 movies. Impressive.
That's pretty incredible.
It is. It's a movie. It's a trilogy or a franchise, I guess.
Yeah.
That I think each movie is still really good, but it's just getting distilled down to this last one was just so violent, and I enjoyed at least a little bit of the character development that the first John Wick movie had. This one just seems like the characters were just cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, the second one, there was a 128 killings, so obviously a big jump, knowing the 299. I think it was in the 70s, the first one. So the second one, they just said kill everybody.
Right.
This one, it seems like they went for a more unique way. I think he used a horse as a weapon at one point. Yeah, once again, left it open. Obviously, a fourth one's coming, so we're going to add to the total. It's interesting.
Did they kill his cat this time?
No, actually, I think they killed his house. The first one was the dog. The second one was was his house. He had a new dog, and the dog survived the house, but they killed his house. The second one.
I don't think I saw the second one.
Man, he kills a lot of people.
Yeah, at first it was great. It was almost, because we were in on it. We knew why the dog was so important and kind of spoke to his honor and who he is as a human. I think there's a lot more they could do with it. I guess they don't have to.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And I still watched it. I still went to the theater and went to it. And I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan. And it's a great character for Keanu because it doesn't really speak a lot.
Right.
Hopefully they do something to the world a little more with this next one. It just was kind of flat. Anyway. And there is actually an Easter egg in the first movie where a character that has a very short interaction with John Wick is reading a book that is very significant. Things like that I really appreciate in the movie, and it was only in the first one.
What book?
Do you remember when he took the puppy to the airport to drive the car on the tarmac? Do you remember that in the first one?
Yeah. It's been a minute since the first. I just watched 2 and 3 back to back, so it's been a minute since the first one, though.
So he basically has a friend or somebody who he's paid, I don't know who, at the entrance of the tarmac. Take a look at what book he's reading. It helps inform a lot of the movie and why I like the first one so much.
Yeah, I was just counting the dead people. So now, that's
Right.
Obviously you were getting a little deeper than I was, but I'll check that out.
Moving over to J Lo, who is in full NFL mode. He's got his Kansas City Chiefs hat on. He's got his Raider hater name tag in front of him, and you are ready.
I am. It's Raider week. I'm breathing. I'm upright. What more could a man ask for? Except for Greg to be on time.
Oh,
What is Raider Week?
It's pretty self-explanatory if you're a Chiefs fan. And this is the week you look forward to all year when you look at the schedule. What are the 2 times we play the Raiders?
So you're kind of obsessed with the Raiders.
Yeah, it's a big rivalry. I mean, they haven't been very good for a couple of decades, but it's the team we love to hate. Raiders are still the evil empire.
Tim, being a Patriots fan, is a little confused. So Tim, like I'm an Eagles fan, so Dallas would be, most teams have a rival that they are competing with on a regular basis.
I think Patriots refer to this week for them as vacation week because they get to go to Miami and hang out.
Actually, that's your roughest area, isn't it? Going to Miami is where.
Well, yeah, record-wise, yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that line, and it was at between 18.5 and 19.
And they said it would be 26 if there was some extenuating. If it wasn't at Miami, they said it would be 26.
It's a Vegas record. So 18.5 is tied with 2 other, and I think New England was one of the others at some other point, but 18.5 on the road is a Vegas record. If it goes up at all, it'll be the highest point spread ever for a road team.
That is absurd.
So the Patriots' rival is the world. Let's just face it, right? That's it. It's just everybody.
Everyone else.
The other team has to win once in a while for it to be a rivalry.
Right.
Kind of like the Red Sox and the Yankees years ago. They didn't hate us because we didn't beat them when it counted. Mm-hmm. Now they truly hate us as much as we hate them.
Right. I get a chance to talk to my buddy Reg. She's a huge Yankees fan, and she actually talked about that recently because now the Yankees are good and the Red Sox are missing the playoffs. So she was talking some shit. Anyway, she talked about that.
Well, good for her. Let her enjoy it this one time. It's going to happen.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. But I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been a couple of great decades. And Dombrowski, holy crap, his team wins 108 games, goes to the World Series, and then is axed overnight. Not even a press conference. They tossed him to the side like a rag doll.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And frankly, I didn't care. When he came over, I thought, he's just gonna kill our farm system.
Yeah, he did exactly what you knew he was going to do.
Yeah. We probably talked about it before. Not happy.
It's like going on a date with a hot chick just so that you can get laid and then you dump her when it's done. Oh, that's Greg. He's not here to talk about it.
Shit. So he dumps them before he gets laid.
No, that's true. Good point.
It's called the curse of the IKEA. Yes, exactly.
Man, we've invented some curses on this podcast.
Well, I don't know. I'm a little nervous now. I'm actually. I think about. I guess since nobody listens to this podcast, it doesn't really matter. So the Rick Moranis character in
Ghostbusters, yeah,
the gatekeeper,
the gatekeeper, right? So here he is, this squirrely little accountant, has no idea what's going on, gets tapped, and essentially is guarding the portal to multiple worlds, and has this tremendous power thrust upon him. I'm a little nervous, guys, because I'm wondering if we are, in effect, the Rick Moranis podcast and somehow have wrenched open the space-time continuum. Because what happened this week, it doesn't like people are going to think we made this up, and we did not make this up. Well, obviously, Eldon and Dustin aren't going to think we made it up. Scotty probably won't think we made it up.
Yeah, right.
Let me bring the nation closer into the campfire here. So basically,
well, technically we did make it up, but not the result of it. So go ahead.
No, and it could mean nothing. The game is still going on. Scotty and the Dreamers are close in terms of score. They're definitely within that margin of error that the Dreamers could come back and win it today. However, but what happened was we kept pestering Eldon and Dustin to just speak up. Just come on, be a regular owner. We tried everything. We tried public humiliation. We tried texting them. We tried putting stuff on the site, everything. And finally, this week, they took the bait.
They did.
And I think they were up 1-0. They had crushed Scotty. I think they were feeling confident. Would you say they were feeling confident?
Cocky?
Yeah, at that point, how could you not, right? I mean, had I been in that situation, everybody would have fucking known it. So yeah, you if ever they were going to poke their heads out, that was the time. So there's this existent current. Who knows where it first was mentioned among us? Probably back in the day when, probably me being swaggish back then and talking shit in some situation, and then having something horrible happen right after to my team, and I probably pissed off the fantasy gods, and little by little that's become a thing now, and it's a real thing that when you're doing well and you're coasting, you don't want to anger the fantasy gods. You don't want to go above and beyond. You just and the Mondays have seemed to have taken this to heart this season, because they have been as quiet a championship style team that I've seen.
I think Dusty's mom has been more vocal than Dusty, right?
So yeah.
Other than one text he sent to me that we talked about endlessly. Yeah. Okay.
And am I right? Did that not start their 3-game skid, that little skid they had in the middle of the season, or no? Was that a different timing? Am I off a little?
It was it happened, and then a few weeks later their skid said.
Let's just say it was, because it sounds good.
Yeah, fuck it. Nobody's going to back and listen. Yeah. Who's going to go back and listen again, for Christ's sake? Yeah.
Probably the Mondays, but they won't say anything about it.
So anyway, so they've been in that mindset. So that's why, as Tim is pointing out, we've been prodding and just trying to get them to step up and to say something and to get, to kind of combat.
We have a fucking podcast to support here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, part of the league, you got to help out.
Sorry to interrupt, but so now that is kind of back to where Tim was with earlier this week.
We've been doing everything we possibly could, and I think you said they didn't poke their head out. Well, poke their head out they did on Monday.
And got it lopped off.
Both Eldon and Dusty kind of went at the podcast, went at Jack in particular. It wasn't heavy stuff. I mean, they were just talking a little crap. I mean, it wasn't to the level that some of the stuff that we know Dusty's capable of. Almost like a baseball punch, right? It really wasn't intended.
Yeah, and I think it was initially in response to my UCF claiming that I was the champion.
We know what gets them going, right? And lo and behold, less than 6 hours later, their star player, potentially an MVP of the league, Christian Yelich, breaks his kneecap. That was just the beginning, right?
Yeah. So yeah, he hit the ball and it hit his knee. It's not even like somebody else came out and did, right into his kneecap. Tough to watch. That guy had to hurt, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I immediately attributed it to, and again, as I followed the rest of the week, so for them, the way things went after that, I'm halfway through the week going, Jesus Christ, is this real? Like, God damn it! Because as you said, that was just the beginning. What from there he went to replace Yelich, right?
Right.
With Justin Upton. So they put Upton in. Upton had been dinged up, which Upton generally is. And he had missed, I think, games over the weekend, but then he had played Monday and Tuesday, full games, didn't come out. So they replaced Yelich on Wednesday with Upton, and somehow between games, not actually getting onto the field, Upton got hurt again, and then didn't play that game. So now they lost not only their star player, but then lost a game for the guy they replaced him with, and then went to replace that guy, and essentially are now starting to run out of options, but replaced him with Jock Peterson, another player that actually had 4 games left, but because they had put Upton in between and not went straight to Peterson, they actually lost one of Peterson's games as well, because you can't gain a game by injury. So they ended up not only losing Yelich, but essentially losing multiple games as replacements for Yelich at the same time. Meanwhile, I think they were up 15-5 at one point, Monday into Tuesday. And by the end of the following day or 2 days later, I think at the most, Scotty was up by 12. I mean, it was a very quick, very aggressive change of events that happened. That I think when he replaced Yelich, he mentioned something about pissing off the gods, and then has been very businesslike and polite. As a matter of fact, he's lost somebody else. He had to replace his catcher since then too. So they are coming back, and it is a little closer now. So they do have the possibility of still pulling this one off. And
And they have been a Sunday team all year.
They're down by quite a bit right now. It's going to take a little bit for them to get back into it, but they could essentially end up sweeping the championship and, all this goofiness for nothing. So
well, I'm kind of rooting to see Scotty win in this game at least. I mean, I don't have a dog in the hunt. I could care less which one of them wins, but it would be entertaining to have a third game.
Well, I am strongly rooting for Scotty at this point for a multitude of reasons.
I think what we should do is make this segment disappear, come back, and I know Swag has been doing some work on curses. I'd like to dig a little deeper into curses because I'm actually a little freaked out that something like this happened in such a way. I'm sure it's all coincidence. It's just randomness.
I started doing some digging as well. Like I said, at some point you just have to go, God almighty, like a lot of coincidences in a row makes something, doesn't it? I don't know if it's not a curse. I don't give it a different name, but the fact of the matter is it's happening. So yeah.
We'll be right back. We'll check out Swag's research on curses.
You better back up. I'll show you bad luck.
Good to have you back, Bots. And Swag had actually, I think, got so creeped out by this whole curse thing. Like, I was really surprised. He actually did what Swag does as he goes and he tries to research and understand a little more about whatever it is that's concerning him. And this week, definitely, it was our wonderment at the car crash that was the Dreamers' week this week and the potential that curses could go along with it. Swag, I'm going to hand the microphone over to you and let you talk a bit about some of the research you've done because, frankly, it's given me a little chills.
Basically, everybody knows about, a few, right? The Curse of the Bambino. Everybody that knows baseball. Anyway, I guess some non-baseball fans don't know it, but within baseball, you know what that is. A lot of people know the Curse of the Black Sox. So, but I was just surprised in the number of curses that have, like stories and pages and Wikipedias and so on and so forth. And so you got the three main baseball ones, of course, like I said, Bambino, the Black Sox, which is the White Sox scandal, and then the goat, right? The Cubs angry goat. You guys are familiar with that, right?
Yes. The Curse of the Billy Goat.
There was a guy that brought his goat into the stadium.
Because who wouldn't?
And so they made him leave, and so as he was leaving, he cursed the Cubs and said that they would never win a World Series in that building or a championship in that building again. Right? Curses are like stupid things that people say until shit starts happening, and then you pay attention to it. So at that point, everybody's like, "Oh, we're cursed." Like that was just a stupid fucking thing that some dude said. Until 55 fucking years later, they're still fighting for a goddamn World Series. They're like, wait a minute, remember that guy with the goat? Same thing. These with the Dreamers, they spoke up, they said what they had to say this week, and it was interesting that they did speak up, and we started a little back and forth, but until Yelich went down, it was just something they were saying. Once Yelich went down, then it became a curse. So what else you got out there? So the Tippecanoe, right? The presidential situation. So Joe, you're familiar with that?
I know what Tippecanoe was. That the only thing I remember about it was Tippecanoe and Tyler too, the slogan. I couldn't tell you what the curse is, though.
Well, yeah, I actually did come across that curse, and it was really surprising to me. It's actually, the curse was derived from the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811, when one of our presidents, William Henry Harrison, and he negotiated the 1809 Treaty of Fort Wayne, in which Indians ceded large tracts of land to the government. And this pissed off the Shawnee leader, Tecumseh. They almost had a battle, or what they called Tecumseh's War, where Tecumseh and his brother organized a group of Indian tribes to resist the westward expansion of the United States. And in 1811, Tecumseh took a bunch of forces and attacked Harrison's army in what is called the Battle of Tippecanoe. In the aftermath of the battle, Tecumseh's brother, Tenskwatawa, supposedly set a curse upon Harrison, and this is the basis of the curse legend. And it is that any president that starts their term on an even year will die in office. And if you look at it, so the first to do it was William Henry Harrison. He died of typhoid fever in 1841.
Oh, I kind of vaguely remember this.
Is it even year? Or is there a year that ends in 0?
I'm sorry. Thank you. It's a year that ends in 0. Yes. Thank you very much. So we had Harrison, then obviously Abraham Lincoln, right? Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. James Garfield was assassinated. William McKinley was assassinated. Harding died of a heart attack in 1923. Roosevelt had a cerebral hemorrhage. John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and then Reagan and Bush too. There was both an assassination attempt on each of them.
Yeah, I mean, as far as math goes within curses, that's pretty fucking impressive, right? I mean, all right, so curses don't exist. That is one of the more amazing coincidences that I am aware of and have ever been a part of. I mean, every fucking one up until Reagan, who survived, they shot and survived, and now Bush. So that's just crazy. That's a lot of fucking people. It's not like it was 3 of them, right? I mean, that's fucking.
there was quite a bit.
That's an oddly specific curse, though, when you think about it.
What is
the one you were just talking about? That's oddly specific that somebody back in the 19th century would come up with. Oh, you're gonna every president that starts in the year 0 is going to be assassinated.
No. So it's not right. So it's so again, curse, bad chain of luck, weird superstitious situation. That's not a curse. Somebody didn't say this is going to happen necessarily, right,
so
Tim?
You're saying it's a coincidence.
Is that right, Tim? It's not something that was put on. It's just something that has happened and been noticed.
Yeah, it was. Well, this one was put upon Harrison.
Oh, it was. Okay.
And then it's as if it because Harrison started on a year ending in 0 every 20 years subsequently.
Yeah. So as I was saying before, there has to be a chain of events so the next guy that died, they didn't say, oh, look, it's, you know what I mean? It was probably 3 or 4 or, down the line. They're like, wait a minute, look at this fucking pattern here. Hold on a second. That's kind of what I was saying before is same thing as, in music, right? You have the 27 Club.
Oh yeah.
Probably a little less of a situation, but you got a whole bunch of famous musicians that have, died at 27. Many of them became famous at 25 and died at 27 for whatever reason. But so you have, again, some other well-known or semi-well-known, the Mummy's Curse, of course, right? The Hope Diamond, the curse, right? You guys familiar with that anyone that touches the Hope Diamond is supposed to receive a horrible death. And I guess it all the way down to the gentleman that delivered it to the museum that it's currently at, shortly afterwards was hit by a car. And then his wife and dog, shortly after that, both died, within like a short amount of time. So, again, some goofy stuff out there. What about Otzi? Is it Otzi, the Iceman? The Iceman curse. I guess all the folks that worked on that Iceman that they brought up, those people are all dying off. I think 7 of them have died since then.
Oh yeah.
Of course, the fact that they were all in their 90s when they found him has nothing to do with
that. Joe, you are such a fucking
cynic,
fun killer. What about the Madden curse, Joe?
Not true. They weren't in their 90s.
They weren't, right? Joe, what about the Madden curse? Right? You guys know about the Madden curse?
No, we're not talking about that this year. It almost came true in game 1.
Yeah, let's talk about the Madden curse. What's the Madden curse, Swag?
The video game cover?
Yeah.
The famous Madden
what
video game. Who's on it this year? Is it your boy? Is it Mahomes? Is that it?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everybody that's ever been on the cover has either gotten injured quickly, immediately just evaporated from the league. Everybody pretty much that goes on that cover has some horrible thing. It's supposed to be this great honor, right? The only reason you get on the cover, and back in the day before the curse started, that was the case. Everybody wanted to be on the Madden cover because, I mean, you did something right the year before. Yeah, now we got pretty much everybody that you got the Vince Youngs and whatever that Cleveland running back was that, like I said, just disappear. You don't even hear from them a year later. And then you got quite a few fucking major injuries of guys that have been on the Madden cover over the years.
Although, to be fair, it didn't
to be fair.
Not everybody that's been on it has had that problem. There was just a string of about 10 years in a row where it was either you were a one-hit wonder or you got horribly injured and missed the entire year. Who was on it last year?
Wasn't it Antonio Brown?
What was his horrible injury?
Obviously, it was a head injury. Maybe you couldn't see it, but clearly
Did he not play last year?
not in the 17th game.
Curse broken. It was Brady. Leave it to Brady to fuck everything up.
I thought it was 19. It was AB, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Brady was 18. That's right. Now last year was 19.
And what was Brady's injury in 18? What was the horrible thing? They won the Super Bowl? Well, geez. God, that's horrible.
Didn't they lose the Super Bowl that year?
I don't know. I'm not a Patriots fan. I don't keep track of their Super Bowl wins and losses. I just know they're always in.
Pretty sure the Philadelphia Eagles defeated them that year.
Oh, yeah, you would know that.
I would.
Yeah, so his horrible curse was that he made the Super Bowl for the fifth
Oh my
or sixth
God!
time.
Somebody mute Mr. Fucking Logic over here so we can get through this fucking segment. All right, what else we got?
Somebody's gotta be the voice of reason.
We got the Super Bowl curse, right? That no home team has ever won the Super Bowl. So as soon as they announce that the Super Bowl is going to be in your city that year, you know that you're not going to win that year.
Is that really a curse, or is that just you've got a 1 in 30 shot of making it every year?
What about the Honey Bears, Joe? What about the Honey Bears? Huh?
Is that the chick that wanted to be like in beauty pageants or something, or mother?
No, that was not. No, George Hallis. When George Hallis, I guess, passed away,
no, that was Honey Boo Boo.
His daughter took over and the Bears and decided that the Honey Bears, their dance team, cheerleader team, was taking the focus away from the football. So even though they had been there for many years, they were removed from the Chicago Bears, never to have returned. And that last year that the Honey Bears were on the field was 1985.
All right, well, I've got a new curse for you. The curse of Nick Foles. The Philadelphia Eagles have not won a Super Bowl since they got rid of Nick Foles.
That is correct.
And that's just sad.
You're really not a lot of fun. What about Drake? You know about Drake? Huh? Do you know who Drake is?
I don't. The rapper?
Yeah, the rapper, yes.
He's a fan of every team he's a fan of sucks, except this year they won.
He wore the other team's jersey under his shirt in the final game, the deciding game. So he tricked the curse makers, and pretended like he was rooting for the other team. Seriously, my understanding is this guy has been responsible for like quite a bit out there. Horse races. His girlfriend, I guess, is one of the Williams sisters, and he finally went to one of her matches, and she lost to like a nobody. And then the NBA is all over the place. Yeah. So, well, what about the Black Pearl, Joe? Curse of the Black Pearl. Poltergeist. Oh, here's one, Joe. Let me see you disprove this one. So in the Philippines, there was a string of 7 deaths while, not just people that did this, but while they were doing it, 7 different people in the Philippines died from 7 different ways, none of them just a medical situation, while singing or doing karaoke to Frank Sinatra's My Way. So how do you explain that?
Oh my God. Well, that sounds real, actually. That's kind of frightening.
It actually is real. 7 different people while doing in the middle of karaoke singing so people have stopped doing that in the Philippines.
Was this in the same venue at the same time?
No. That would be
scattered
really
around
weird.
Different places.
Yeah. With a guy standing in front of him with a bomb. Yes, Joe. There you go. You figured it out. Jesus Christ.
And the one guy that didn't went on to become the lead singer of Journey.
There you go. What about Thinner? Huh? Stephen King? You familiar with that? No?
Actually, that was Richard Bachman.
There you go, Joe. Nice reference that I actually got. Yeah, that's all I got. The Sinatra in the Philippines I thought was going to be the kicker.
That proves it to me.
Oh, okay. So I got Joe finally with that last one.
I'm on board. I think Dusty is fucked.
See, Dusty, you're fucked. that's this did not go as well as I'd hoped. And then of course you have, our curses. So our curses pretty much we've had but seriously, the curse of the first place team, right, has been something that has kind of existed throughout our league. If you finish first in the regular season, you generally do not win the championship. It has been
and it's absolutely not off the table right now.
No, right. Yep. It's possible that could be snapped by the curse receivers. Don't talk shit, the fantasy gods. You don't want to piss off the fantasy gods. That's something that everybody kind of, believer or not, keeps in the back of their head here, depending on how successful their team is. And then the Harper curse, which was actually created, I think, by my brother originally, right, out of anger for making a mistake trading.
Right.
That Greg has now denoted a JJ Blade curse, I guess, which I find is odd. The guy's not even.
I'm not sure I understood what that was.
It was
that was the one where
slight.
Yeah, where I tagged the guy on the message board, but then lazily did not put him on my team right away, and then Greg tried to pick him up.
Yes, and Greg wanted to pick him up.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so because Greg can't read, I'm cursed, I guess.
Well,
so.
Greg throws curses around like they're candy at a a 4th of July parade. So it's kind of hard to keep track.
He does, but again, every now and then they hit, and then he's a little more excited about the idea, and I think he's starting to believe as well, right?
Well, good. Maybe we can use that against him at some point.
Yeah, I think he's actually trying to. I've kind of been paying attention to him. He's been using a term called "lock it in," and he's been switching. So basically, he's been picking one team, and then he'll flip to another team and say, "Oh, it's a guarantee. You're going to win it all.
That is his curse.
It's going to be you."
Yep.
Yeah. And I feel like he's putting a lot of energy into it. He hasn't really talked about it, and he did it with Jack, and then he did it with the Dreamers last week. So originally he picked Scotty, and then he flipped and said, "Well, it's a done deal." And so I think
lock it in. Yep.
Yeah. But
see, I think when he was doing it with Jack, I think he was just sort of kind of mocking Jack more than a curse thing.
I think he wanted me to lose. Yeah.
More important than he actually is. I think he thinks he is. Like, I think he's got this fantasy that he somehow, got more power, influence, or whatever.
Perhaps he's willing to take the position of gatekeeper off of your shoulders.
I don't think he
said it was really the podcast, but yeah.
Greg doesn't want any responsibility for anything. Haven't you paid attention?
Yeah. I think anybody who just decides not to show up to something that's been going on for fucking 6 months.
Come on, what do you expect him to get up in the morning just for you?
I mean, in reality, this is, let's see, GK.
I mean, it's 10 o'clock our time. Jeez, it's Sunday.
In his defense, I believe Yoko wanted to go to breakfast this morning. So
I'm sorry. Does Yoko not let him touch his phone? Like, just let us know. Like, it's not like we've but to just stand us up like this, it's kind of shit.
It's kind of his thing.
Yeah, but
perhaps he's been robbed and he's locked in the closet, duct taped to the clothes bar or something.
Right.
Ooh, maybe he accidentally hurt John Wick's dog.
Yeah,
and he's dead.
I think he's probably
tripped
sitting
over
on the
his
couch.
bottled water that he had stored from the hurricane. He tripped and cracked his head on the granite countertop, and he's just laying there in a pool of blood.
I got one. He choked on fake sausage. How's that for a possibility?
He's sitting on the couch in fucking sweatpants and a stained t-shirt, eating cheese balls, watching a Mary Poppins marathon. Then he's like, oh shit. I'm 15 minutes late. I'm gonna have to tell the guys that I came up some whatever fucking fantastical story comes up with. It's fucking bullshit. He's just sitting around. He probably missed the call 15 minutes in, and then is now too afraid to fucking call in and say, "Oh hey guys, sorry about that." So and if it's anything other than that he fucking planned and didn't tell us, that's even worse.
The jet lag from Vegas finally caught up to him.
Is it just me, or is anyone else like really looking forward to that story? Though it's got to be good, right?
Oh hell yes! It better be good. It better be Balky worthy.
No, I don't like it. I don't like the game. It's all fun and games when we talk about someone else, but now I'm as the recipient, fucking sucks.
Yeah. No.
Well, I hope nothing's wrong with him. I hope we do have to give him shit for just being an asshole rather than something bad.
Oh,
happening.
well, look at that. We just got a text from Greg. Oh my God. Is he listening to us?
Yeah, right?
He literally just said, "Sorry, I'm so sorry. Met a girl late last night and I'm at her place. Was up till 6 a.m. I'm safe, but just charged phone.
I'm safe. What are we, his mother?
Wasn't really concerned if you were safe.
Yeah, that's sweet that he thinks that we're
He's
concerned.
hoping for a puddle of blood.
Concerned that you were safe."
That's right. Please send your microphone to Justin.
Your geotag
I'd finally get to talk to Justin again.
says you are at IKEA.
Well, she works there.
Oh, outstanding.
He didn't really go back to her place, but her place of work, which was IKEA, and he got to spend the night there. So
Whatever. So again, the guy who fucking implored us to keep going now, is hooking up late at night and not showing up.
well, I think in again, just putting everything in context, we should take into consideration that this is now one of the longer relationships he's been in a while. So
Why are you such a fucking apologist for him?
I'm
Why?
being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
The fact that he spent the night there means it's a long relationship for him.
Although I have to say, guys, if Gretchen walked in here right now and said, "Hey, let's go to the bedroom," I'm ghosting you right now.
I mean, there's a few
but
things.
you know what? Gretchen knows how important this is to you.
Well, that's true.
And how
She knows
important
you're on a
that
podcast,
is to you, too, obviously.
She knows you're on a podcast, right?
She does.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I did tell my wife that I'm on a podcast. I have to have a reason to keep the door closed, so she would wonder what I was doing in here otherwise.
Okay, so the mystery of GK is solved, I guess. You're right. He better come back. This story has got
There
to
better be
fucking
trapezes involved.
We don't ask him to do anything else but show up and spit into a microphone.
The shitty part is the story's probably going to suck because he stayed there, right? The only stories that are good are the ones he runs away from.
So do we have anything to talk about after?
Other than Greg?
I'm done. Yeah, and I don't want to talk about him anymore, so we'll be right back. Thanks. Welcome back, Balked Nation. Guys, should we throw a curse at Greg for not showing up?
Yeah, so normally he ghosts his relationships, right? So obviously this one, he stayed the night, it seems. So already that's like in the top 5% of Greg's relationships now, right? Like you're almost talking marriage. I think a good curse here would be, since it's so important for him to spend time with this new young lady that he's with, let's go ahead and ask the gods of camaraderie to make sure that she's around plenty for him over the next few weeks.
I was thinking a year at least.
Yeah, that
She's unavoidable.
Yeah, unavoidable is good.
Right.
That, yes.
Excellent.
Greg, we curse thee.
Actually, I'm kind of hoping for a stalker. Like for someone who can actually bust through
Beyond the ghosting.
Right, exactly. That just won't let him stop.
Why not just curse him to be married?
I don't find marriage to be a curse. It's actually been
Yeah,
pretty
but
good for me.
you don't think it would be for him?
No, for him, I think he's been married several times. It doesn't seem like he has no problem breaking that up. Like
Okay.
it's not quite
All
the
right.
curse. He knows how to break that shit. I'm talking about a sticky. I'm talking about a total stage 5 clinger that just will not allow him. Like so insane that would move to wherever the fuck he moves to.
Yeah.
I think that would
Oh
be.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll call it a clinger curse.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that malediction towards him.
There you go.
I'll throw that anathema his direction, and that he becomes the stickum of relationships. That whatever her name is, let's call her. What would we call her? What would be?
Let's go with Naomi for this one.
Naomi just does not let go. Like
I think her name
Bolitnikov's
is
hand.
Naomi Klingenbaum or something.
There you go, Greg. Take that JJ Blade shit and shove it up your ass.
That's right.
And yeah. So
next week he logs on, and she's going to be sitting next to him on the couch where the dog usually is.
Right. Exactly.
Hey guys, I'm here this week, but if it's okay, Naomi wanted to sit in and just see how we did things here. Is that cool, guys?
That was actually a really decent Greg. Very good, Jack.
Naomi forever. I see another tattoo coming.
Matching even.
That's how you know the curse took if he actually goes through with the tattoo.
So I think so we had the sugar skull, then he got the owl, so then maybe
the leech.
A leech, that's right, yes. Yep. And then he's gonna move from like Miami to Oklahoma, or Lincoln, Nebraska. She'll go there.
That's where my uncle lives.
Yep.
I was thinking about visiting him for 6 to 8 months.
How long is your next job assignment?
Where do you think you're going next?
Maybe her name is Ingrid. I'm trying to think of a Swedish name to go along with IKEA.
Ingrid.
Ingrid.
Maybe her name is
IKEA.
Ingrid. Yeah. IKEA.
Her name is Ingrid IKEA.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Would you like some meatballs? I don't know why she sounds Italian.
Unza Gregga.
Chicken in a biscuit.
Do we have anybody in the league that could take his spot?
Justin.
Well, the Mondays, but they won't talk until the podcast is over.
That's right.
Yeah, Dusty. Yeah. Justin.
Maybe in the off season, if they win, right? If they win, then they should talk in the off season. They're not gonna. This hit wasn't so hard that they stay silent in the off season in preparation for not disturbing the gods next year, was it?
I don't think they talk ever again. I think as long as they're in the league, as much money as they make off all of us with their fucking super team.
From now on, we're going to get all the roster changes from Miss Monday. The boys would like to take out Upton.
It's done. They're done. There's no way. Like, I can't imagine. This isn't even about challenging their courage or anything. I don't know that I would speak if I was them.
Right. Yeah, no, at this point, yeah, I think you've been, the gods have obviously served you. And, when they do it this, strong and swiftly, at the very least, you should pay attention.
Right. I mean, think about how Dusty must feel. If I put myself, he's like, all right, I'm feeling good. I'm look at our team. We've built this over the last several years. We've been disciplined. I mean, let me throw a couple of just jabs out there. Tim's on my case. Swag's on my case. I do like this podcast. Yeah. And just throw something out. And then a few hours later, watching the news and seeing the ball ricochet off of his kneecap. What a gut punch.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah.
And it's done, right? You already said it. You can't. It's not like you can pull it back.
Well, and the worst part of it is like I said, is it was a shot at me in response to something that, as he says in the next message shortly after that, means nothing because I'm not in the championship. So not only did he take the shot from talking shit, but he's talking shit to somebody that isn't even in the game that he's playing. And so as meaningless a shit talk as you can get, and it's going to, not only cost him his MVP's knee, but potentially the series.
I mean, he's probably sitting there going, I was just trying to help them out. I think he even said the podcast wasn't that funny. Like let's just imagine this was coming from a good place. Like, I'm feeling good, and then just to have that happen, and now for the rest of his life, no matter how logical, scientific, there's always going to be this little scratch in the back of his head, just saying, you know what, man, you know what, I know it doesn't make any sense, I know it's not logical,
right?
You can hear the voice of John Crook in the background, just going, "Your shit was weak."
Right? Exactly. Like, if I don't just turn this light switch on and off 3 times, I can't just do 2. I have to do 3. Not 4, but 3. My whole day is going to be fucked up. And I just feel bad. And then Eldon is not a shit talker. Eldon, you guys don't know Eldon, but Eldon is just a straight up, it's the facts. And again, I think I've said that. I really like that about him. And even he was trying to just stretch out a little. I think they were thinking, hey, we're Atlas Balked royalty now. We should kind of, we've supplanted swag. We should just, kind of step into this and oh my God, it's like they tripped over their regal robes immediately.
If you wait until it's over, then obviously you'll always be right? However, if you are going to pick a spot prior to it being over, that was the absolute safest spot that you could possibly. They had just got done winning by fucking 30.
Right.
They were already up by 15, like fucking 24 hours into the new week. You can't be a lot more comfortable not finishing than being in that spot. So the timing was right. If you were going to do it, that's where you were going to do it. Just the waterfall of fucking ugliness that came afterwards was just quite impressive.
So how much do you think that, let's just say Scotty's team holds on and wins this week. How much do you think that changes things for a third game?
Well, the one thing about a third game is that anything can happen.
That's true, but statistically, I mean, I think I mentioned last week that they've won 2/3. The Dreamers have won 2/3 of the games in the breakdown against Scotty's team
with Yelich
in a 3-game. Correct, but in a 3-game series, they're going to win 2 out of 3. So
with Yelich,
Scotty were to win. I agree. That's why I asked, how much do you think that changes it?
How long did Scotty not have Judge?
Yeah, good point. All right, well, fuck you, Joe. Don't speak up.
No,
it's a legitimate question, but it is definitely a lot closer now than what it has statistically been up until You're literally, a Yelich and a Judge difference. Like, that's a big fucking difference.
I don't know if the Dreamers, if they don't win this week, and actually Eldon had been texting me earlier in the week saying that if they don't win this week, he's already looked at the schedule for next week.
I wonder how much of that is just natural worrying because he's in the middle of a series that means something.
So he said, I hope we finish strong this week. This was something he sent to me last Tuesday. Oh, so this was a terrible Tuesday. For me. But this was before.
Prior to the injury.
Yep. I hope we finish strong. I do not want to play next week. Schedule sucks for us. And I said, I truly think you guys have it in the bag.
So you cursed him.
That's the Greg curse. Lock it in.
Damn, Tim, I can't believe you did that to them.
This is like talking to someone while they're in a car, speeding down the highway, doing coke off the ass of a hooker. Right. But he doesn't know what's going to happen, right? So then he says, Jack and I are having fun now. And I said, nice. So that was at 4:37 p.m. in the afternoon, Pacific time.
6 minutes later.
Then on Tuesday night at 9:36, I get this from him. Now we are fucked. Yelich broke kneecap. Do you think that, coincidence or not, that just weird that these guys would be on top of the world and then open their mouths for the first time in a long time and then immediately have their team just wrecked?
I think that's baseball.
But what does that baseball mean?
It's not supernatural. That's just the way the world works.
Baseball.
One minute. It's the curse of baseball.
Is it baseball or the world, Joe? Come on now.
Actually, so look, I'm J-Lo. I'm going to tell you that I love you before I say this, okay?
Uh-oh, it's going to hurt. Should I grab my ankles?
And then there were 2.
I mean this. I've known you for a very long time. You're incredibly important to me. But in 2004, would you like to share with Balked Nation what you did with a particular Red Sox baseball hat?
I think everybody's familiar with their silly little superstitions they have for their own.
Now they're silly little superstitions. Up until now, it was a bunch of crazy people talking to Joe. Now they're silly little superstitions.
Okay, so I had a Red Sox hat I bought in spring training that year.
And
I had my little piece of the left field wall that I sat next to it on the table where I was watching the games.
And
every time they scored, I would have to turn the hat a quarter turn to the left.
that
Or
sounds
something
familiar.
like that.
Yes.
Something along those lines. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, I
Interesting.
had a
Here's
little
the
ritual
situation.
that I used to exercise the curse of the Bambino, and it worked.
Yeah. Yes, it was north, south,
Yeah, okay.
east, west, right?
That's right.
It
That's
was
right.
12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6
Yeah.
o'clock, 9 o'clock. You call it what you want, J-Lo. But I know you claimed a little bit of ownership of that victory.
Was this
and you
this
were-
was when
I can
the curse was still in effect? Is this
This was
correct?
2004, yeah.
2004. This was I
So-
actually I know I spent a lot of time on the phone with J-Lo during that time. There were times on the phone where he told me got to move the hat. I don't know what drove moving the hat though. What was it? It was
I don't know. It just seemed to work when I did it once, so I just kept doing it. It became
That's
a thing I
odd.
had to do.
what triggered the hat movement.
Very illogical.
I know. That's why.
Well, it's like if you're wearing a certain shirt and your team is losing, you have to go change that shirt. It always works.
I will say that I was watching the Eagles game last week, the first
What's
game
that
of the
got to do with
season.
curses? Superstition and curses?
the first
Different
game-
things.
They're in this. What are you? I was watching the Eagles game last week, the first game of the season, and I was all excited because I had held on to my Deshaun Jackson jersey, and it was all of a
Right.
sudden legitimate again. And so I planned on wearing it, to start the season. I had put on my McNabb older beat up jersey earlier in the day because I was doing some shit around the house, whatever. Forgot to change. Went to halftime with the Redskins kicking our ass somehow, some way, some ridiculousness. Realized I had my McNabb jersey on. Of course, I went and changed, put on the Deshaun jersey. 2 touchdowns later by Deshaun, we won the game. So obviously, Joe, we know that this stuff works. Okay, you can
Absolutely.
You
In
can,
fact, I think you need to send me your LaShawn McCoy jersey.
Right?
I'll just put some red ink on it and change it. It'll work out.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. So I'm sorry that I had to share that with the world, literally.
As long as everybody realizes I'm responsible for the Red Sox winning the 04 World Series, they can send their thank yous
Yeah.
to me. I'll
and
accept
every other instance of curse or superstition is
that. It's all
goofy.
bullshit.
Right. That one though, that one he's got. The rest of them, you guys are fucking nuts.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
See, now you understand. I'm glad I could convince you.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Felt like it took us a little longer to get warmed up on this call today. I know I was a little angry at Greg, but
A little.
yeah, but again, it just got to the end where, obviously I love hanging out with you guys. This is a lot of fun. Well, J-Lo Swag, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having the commitment to show up regardless of what your sex lives are like, regardless of the shopping needs that you have, and still making it happen.
No problem.
No problem.
Happy
All
to
right.
be here.
Wonderful.
Damn
All right,
it,
gentlemen,
Greg.
you have yourselves a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, fellas, be good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Born on the bad side. Been down since I began to crawl. If it wasn't for bad luck, you know I wouldn't have no luck at all. Hard luck and trouble. Been my own.
Well, I will tell you that
I don't know.
it's all fun and games about ghosting until it fucking happens to you. Now I'm like, you fucking suck, man. Just fucking send us something.
Now you almost
Jesus
want something
Christ.
to have happened. Give him an excuse.
Well, that's the problem. It's
Well, all I can say is if he comes back, he better have a damn good story to share.
Curse, also called imprecation, malediction, execration, malison, anathema, or combination, is any expressive which all are attached to one or more persons, a place, or an object. In particular, curse may refer to such a ritual conducted by supernatural or such as a god or gods, a spirit, or a natural force. Also the kind of spell. The curse can also be called a hex or a jinx. In many belief systems, the curse itself or accompanying ritual is considered to have some positive force. To reverse or eliminate a curse is sometimes called removal or breaking, as the spell has to be dispelled and is often requiring elaborate rituals.